Hey guys, welcome back. So I thought I would do a little video about what I've been up to lately. So these are some of the pictures, and you'll notice that most of them are not in the books. There's reasons for that, but there is one, and that's this one. And by the way, this book, it's missing its cover. It has like a really cute cover on it that kind of mimics this. But I took it off because it was starting to get really it beat up a little bit, and the jacket is really pretty. It's like this beautiful yellow, muted yellow with just kind of a similar vibe to it. But yeah, so let's get started. I'm gonna put these to the side for a minute. I got so many things I want to do and show you guys and tell you, but it's like there's just not enough time in the day to do all that I want to do. So this is Symphony of Cute Animals, which is a very cute book. I believe you might have to go back a ways, but there is a flip through of this. I'm not sure how far back it is. I've had this book for a while, for a couple of years, so you may have to go back a couple of years. And my video quality is, yeah, let's just say I was just learning. We'll leave it at that. Now, I can't do a lot of the fancy camera angles, shots, and this and that and the other because I only have my cell phone, which is all I can afford. So, I hope you guys will bear with me. So this is the image that I wanted to show you. I started it last year, and I was bound and determined that I was going to finish it. And isn't that absolutely amazing? Isn't this absolutely gorgeous, you guys? You see how sparkly this is? I spent so much time on this. Look at all the sparkle on that. And I used pretty much everything under the sun. I mean, isn't that absolutely amazing? I kind of messed up this part a little bit, but But I used pretty much everything under the sun here. I used colored pencils, glitter pens, handmade watercolors from Etsy, store-bought stuff, generic, ink tints. Like, what didn't I use? Pretty much. I threw everything but the kitchen sink at it. And I just absolutely love, look at the sparkle, it's so pretty. I was not trying to make him, Mr. Doggy over here, look like he was wearing copper, but that's how it came out. So I just decided to roll with it. But I do like how it came out. It was not quite what I was after, but it works. But I especially love how these parts right here. This was not easy. I wanted to make like the moon was kind of coming this way. And you can see that's why the clouds are lit on the top and kind of darker underneath. And that's why, same over here, why the front of the squirrel is kind of lit up more than the backside. And even I forget what you call it, this part of the railing. Sorry, brain fart. Anyway, why the front part of it is lit and the back part is a little darker. And same for the tree. Just to show that directional lighting. That's not easy. That has been and I'm still working on it. I still have a long way to go. But I had good success with it in this case. And I very nearly screwed this up. I mean, the flags were an absolute disaster. And I despaired for a bit that I was ever going to be able to fix it. But I did. I think it looks great. It took me a lot of this and a lot of that, and to get it to where I was happy with it. So, but yeah, isn't that awesome? This is the other thing that I'm working on for, oh yes, this is the other one. I finished this fall as well. I forgot about that. I had started it again last year, but I never posted it because I had this part done, like right here. But this part right here gave me so much trouble, and you can see where it sort of the book sort of came apart a little bit. It was horrible. Like I went to paint it and it looked horrible. And so I just had to kind of keep with it until, and thankfully I didn't do too much damage other than right here, which I think I can get that off. But yeah, it was just a full-blown nightmare. But isn't the rest of this lovely though? And I especially love the background. I used my distress inks, which I don't really use that much, and half of them have probably gone dry. I struggle. That is one medium I really, really struggle with. It's getting the distress inks and stuff like that to play nice. It's been something I've just about given up on, honestly, but not entirely. And in this case, it came out very, very good. I especially like how my candlesticks came out and my bird over here. I mean, check this bird out, you guys. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Look at that bird. I mean, and my candlesticks are great. I mean, the rest of it is just that I was trying to make this look like it had like they were on a table. So I drew the line. I was supposed to get some help from someone for this, and they never got back to me. So I just had to figure it out on my own. But it's supposed to look like this stuff's on a table. And that's why I sort of drew it a little bit darker here and then a little bit lighter here because of the way the light's coming. But the majority of it came out exceptionally good. I'm super happy with it. I haven't posted it yet, but I will be doing that very soon. Now, on to the thing that I'm working on. Okay, there you go. Isn't that awesome? So let's scooch in just a little bit more. I did this side. I completed this side last year, and I've made a few little tweaks to it while working on this side. You can see there's so much going on that for me, with my visual impairment and other physical issues that I have, it takes me a very long time to do pages like this to the standard that I am happy with. You know, so that's why I don't post pictures like this very often. It takes me a long time, sometimes like 2 years, because I'll start this one year and then I'll finish the other side the next year. So, but yeah, this I will definitely be finishing this and posting this closer to Christmas. I promise. So, but I do highly recommend this book. I cannot pronounce the Japanese artist's name. Kanoko Igus. I cannot pronounce it. I'm sorry. It's Kanoko. And then her last name is EGUSA. I apologize, guys. I'm terrible with foreign names. I'm like the worst. Anyway, so that's from that book. Here are all the single pages. Now, okay. So let's start with this one. And this one might be the most coolest one of all, because I did this one entirely with 50-year-old watercolors. I kid you not, guys. I might have the tin up here. I'm upstairs in my art room. I might have the tin up here. Well, I can't find it, so if I do find it, I will show you guys. But there is a video. I did a whole video on this, and I was absolutely mind blown at how good they still worked. They are from Playtime, Binney and Smith, which are the people that founded, I believe they're brothers, but don't quote me, that founded Crayola. And I was just like, say what now? I honestly did not know the history of Crayola. I just never bothered to look into it. But yeah, I did this entire picture with the exception of a little I used a little bit of micron pens right here to sort of, and up in the eye to sort of add some definition. But other than that, I painted this entire picture, which was my own, by the way, with 50-year-old watercolors from Crayola. It's just, you know, it came out, the tin basically dates back to the time I was born, which is wild. But isn't that amazing, guys? I just, for 50-year-old watercolors, it's just like, what? I didn't use anything but that, other than that micron pen here and here. That's it. I could have added stuff to it, but I wanted this to be solely just that, because I wanted people to see how amazing, after 50 years, how amazing that paint still was. It's just, it leaves you speechless, you know? So anyway, this is another one that I did. I love Mariola Bedeck. She's had a rough time lately. I guess there was a lot of flooding where she lives over in Europe, and you know, I hope and pray she's doing well. I haven't heard any updates recently about how things are going for her, but I know she's been having a rough time. So, you know, pray for her, because it's been rough. So, but I did this mostly with, let's see if I wrote on the back. No. I printed it out of watercolor paper, of course, but it's generally, like with me, a lot of things, mixed media. There's some glitter watercolor, some glitter pens, there's watercolor, there's, I think there's some ink tints, there's a bunch of different things. I think I did use some colored pencils, but not a ton. I really love how my clouds came out. Clouds are hard, y'all. The clouds are hard, and I really love how my clouds came out. And her boots, actually. So yeah, that's from her. Highly recommend checking her out. So now this is another one that you guys may or may not be familiar with. It's from Johanna Bashford. Excuse me, guys. And I think this is, oh, I did write down glitter pens, wet media, colored pencil. Okay, so this side, I kind of figured it was so trashed from the other side that I just kind of, I've got multiple copies of this book. I think it's World's, I forget what book this comes from. I'm having a massive brain fart. I want to say not Rooms of Wonder. It's not World of Flowers. Y'all, I'm having a massive brain fart. I forgot which book this came from. Oh, Lord. Okay. She has so many. But this is from one of her books. One of her more recent ones, I think. But I really, really love how the background came out. I mean, you could see that it's like super sparkly, right? It's very, very sparkly. And I like that. You know, for me, glitter fixes everything. You guys can see like how much glitter is on that, right? So, but I did the whole background, and I used multiple different kinds of glitter, watercolor, regular watercolor. I think, again, this was a mix of colored pencils and, you know, metallic, you know, gel pen types varieties. Like right here, for example, I think I used a micron pen in several places for shadow, like right here. I really love how this came out. I mean, it's pretty good, I think. Ta-da! Okay, help me, you guys. Remind me what book this comes from. Please help me in the comments. Let me know. I forget. I don't know. My brain is not working on all cylinders today. Okay, so this is from Cute and Creepy. Camilla Erico. I hope I said that right. She does a lot of cute books like this. She has a pop manga one. She's got one with like mermaids and other mystical creatures. I love her books, and her paper is phenomenal. I mean, you can see on the other side, this is one of her other, this one was a double page. The other half is still in the book. It came out, to be fair. I did not tear this one out. It came out. I was just gonna roll with it. It fell out. So, but you can see that she does really cute stuff. But you see how good the paper took that? I mean, there's barely any, there's some here maybe. But I mean, you see how well it took to the wet media. And I used some acrylic paint on this one, which is a kind of a rare thing. The background I had started it with watercolor and it just I wasn't happy with it. And so I let it dry and I laid down some acrylic paint. And then I let that dry. And then I went back in with like the glitter. I don't know if you could see all the glitter in the background. Then I went over that with that very carefully because I had used some not gesso, gouache, and I thought I was being light enough when I was putting the sparkle in. And you have to be careful when you use gouache because it can, even if you let it dry, it can be reactivated, unlike acrylic paint. So I layered it with the watercolor, and then when that wasn't working, then I layered it with the gouache, and then the gouache started to move on me even though I had let it dry. I thought it was being gentle enough, and it started moving on me, which made it kind of more uneven than I wanted. So that's where the acrylic paint came in. And then when that dried, then I was able to put in, the glitter in the background. But I love how my little dude and my bats came out. They're so cute. Look at these little dudes. Aren't they cute? They're so cute. I love the little bats. And he's boo, boo, boo. I absolutely love how this came out. As you can tell, I love to mix things up with my media. That's just, I think that's how I get the most robust look, is when you focus on just one media. Sometimes I feel like you can't get as robust a look, or it's a lot harder. By layering things like this, I feel like I can get as I said, a much more robust look. So, but yeah, I like that. And here's another one I did for Halloween. This came out of Beauty of Horror 4, I believe. The book absolutely fell apart. I didn't take it apart. It fell apart from almost from the first time I opened it. I was mad. I was like, what? So it was not, I think that, and I heard other people comment about the same thing regarding this particular book. I think they must have had issues during their binding, wherever they got it bound from. And you can see it's two-sided. Look how well it took to the paper. This is from Aliens. Yeah. Anyway, you can see that it's pretty awesome. But look, it bled through maybe a little here. And that's it. One thing you can do too is add a layer of clear gesso or watercolor ground and let it dry for 24 hours. That can help with bleed through issues if your paper is not as robust as these are. That's just a little tip. But I do love how this came out. I love that little sparkle. And I absolutely adore how my curtains came out. I knew the curtains were going to be a focal point because it takes up such a large portion of the picture. So there's everything from watercolor to Inktense to color pencil on the curtains. I think I even used a little pen at some point. But I love how her dress came out. I mean, what do you guys think? It's pretty cool, right? Ta-da! Her dress is awesome. You can see it has lots of sparkle. I love sparkle, so glitter fixes everything. So, but yeah, I especially love how my bucket, that might be my favorite point, is the bucket. I'm going to show you guys. I absolutely adore how, and it's 9/10 watercolor. Isn't that awesome? I love it. So, that was that. And that is Johanna, by the way, in case you're not familiar with his Alan Roberts book. And that's the artist. His name is Alan Robert. And he's bro's got a wild imagination. We'll just leave it there. I don't know what that guy, he's got some quite the imagination. So now I know for a fact this one is from World of Flowers. A, because I was smart enough to write it at the bottom. And B, because it's such an iconic image. I know a lot of people did this one for Halloween, but I absolutely love how this background came out. Absolutely love it. The background is probably my favorite thing, if I'm being truthful. I used, it's mostly watercolor, Neo 2. Yeah, it was primarily Neo 2 with some white gouache around the skull. And I just made sure things were just wet enough to push it. And I also layered the Neo 2 very thickly, as well as the gouache. I layered it very thickly because the more you push it around, the thinner and the lighter it's going to become. So you want to have a lot to push around so that it doesn't get too pale and too shallow looking. And I also added a little depth around the corners with some regular, I think like oxide black, which, by the way, y'all need to check that out. I believe it's from Van Gogh. It is singularly, I could do a whole video just on this particular paint. It's like this brownish black that, it's like ivory black on steroids. So, but this right here is 9/10 colored pencil. There's watercolor pencils, glitter pens, watercolor pencils, ink tints, Neo 2s. There is some Neo 1. And the difference is Neo 1 is their oil pastels. And their oil pastels are very interesting because they're a lot firmer than, say, some of the ones you'll see in, for example, King Art. Oh, dear. My cat. I am so sorry. Come here, baby. Come here. I'm right here. Come here. Come here. Come here. He cries like a little baby. It's the funniest thing ever. Come here, sweetheart. Come on. Come on. You want to say hi? Come on. You want to say hi to my friends? Come on. Come here. Oh, come here, baby. Come here. Oh. This is my kitty. Here, say hi. Whoopee, kitty Bob. He doesn't. Say hi. Say hi, Felix. This is my kitty. Ta-da. Say hi, Felix. All right, scrap. Anyway, where were we before we got so rudely interrupted? Sorry. All right, anyway, where was I? Jeez. All right. I lost my train of thought entirely. Okay, so I was using the Neo 1s because from Caran d'Ache, which is, by the way, how you say it, not Caran d'Ache, it's Caran d'Ache. They're Swiss. They're a little bit harder and a little bit firmer than the King Art type oil pastels. And sometimes that can be a good thing, especially if you want something to stay in place and it might get covered up a little bit, but you could take like a slightly damp Q-tip and it'll wipe right off of it. As long as you don't use Gamsol, because then that will move the oil pastels around. that's a whole nother thing. So, but yeah, isn't this amazing, guys? I absolutely, truly love how this came out. I could have done a little more depth here and here, and I might kind of add that in. But yeah, I'm overall pretty pleased with how this came out. I absolutely love it. So, moving on. This is one of the ones that I started last year, and I'm going to have to do this. There we go. You can see it. I started this last year, and I finished it this year. Oh my gosh. These kinds of pages just, I want to do them justice. And so it just takes me longer because I like to just give these kinds of images everything I have. And I prefer to do quality over quantity. I absolutely love how my sky came out. This was such a fun surprise. Do you see the background though? I mean, I don't know if you guys can like see how the background is. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? I know my light's being weird. Sorry. Look at that background though. Isn't that amazing? I started out with the oxide black and I think ivory black. I mixed in some more watercolors to, kind of. And then I started using some of my handmade Etsy watercolors, pan watercolors that I have. And I used a mixture of one that I use for night skies a lot. And then I used one that was like this multi-holographic thing. It's just absolutely amazing. And the person that I got it from isn't selling anymore. So I haven't been able to find one to replace it yet. But I absolutely love, and again, this was another one that I just threw everything but the kitchen sink at it. It's got everything from Neos, 1s, 2s, ink tints, glitter pens, gel pens, watercolor pencils, you name it. And I pretty much threw it at it. And I would say the hardest part probably was the house. But I wanted to get the shading on it just right because of the night sky. So your direction is coming this way because you can see where it's lighter here, but darker right in the corner, and then darker on this side. That shows the directional lighting. Here I kind of did it the opposite a little bit because it's a little further away from the moon, and also that. But the moon will have shifted in my world. It shifted a little bit. So it changed the direction. Realistically, I kind of messed up. But I'm going to go with the moon sort of shifted position. We'll just go with that one. So, but I love how my leaves came out. The stairs were actually harder than you might think. Because you want to get your shading so that it looks like you have like they're not flat, and by adding like in the darker colors there, just a slightly different darker shade, it adds in that depth. And then I started with the watercolor, and then I moved into the ink tints and then the colored pencil. And I'm pretty happy. This was also one that I puzzled on the house. This part right here, this bottom part. I'll show you what I mean. I really struggled with that and the porch. Because I was like, how do I make this look white without it looking flat? And I knew grays were the answer. It was just getting the grays in the right depth, in the right place. And then I used a micron pen down here to redefine the lattice work. So that's kind of that. And my boy here be looking, he's got a good fit, don't you think? So this is also from the same book as the Carrie one, I think. Yeah, because you can see they're all like a movie. There's Chucky and Hannibal and not Jason, geez, Michael. The Creature of the Black Lagoon, the Wolfman. I think that's from The Nun, which by the way is scary. And then that's from the Bates movie. So you could tell I definitely had some bleed through issues there. Oh, so this is also from the same book though. Because see, look, this is from Carrie, or not Carrie. Yeah, it's from the movie Carrie. Ugh. So, but I'm very happy with the way this came out. So, and it too, that one I intentionally took out. Last but not least, this is my most recent one. And this is from a book which I just put up a review on just a few days ago. I struggled a little bit with the background. But I got it going after a bit. It took me a few tries of layering with this and layering with that and, just messing about with it. Don't give up. Unless your paper is totally ruined, which I have overworked pictures to the point where they were ruined. And there was just no saving them. But I didn't do that this time. I did use mixed media paper, which is it's not as robust as, say, watercolor paper, but I figured it would do the job. But once I got the background in order, then I went on to the young lady here that's skating. Now, the hardest part for me was probably this part right here. It actually wasn't the dress. It was this part. Because I wanted to do her skates, and you see that it's like sparkly, right? Ta-da! The skates I wanted them to be like kind of whitish, but not super white, and I wanted this to have like that blue tint to it, to kind of, because the night sky is sort of hitting it, so, and then to squeeze in the shadows of her skates, that was a challenge. It took me a minute of doing this and doing that. At first I think I tried some watercolors, and then I moved on to some colored pencils, and eventually I just tweaked it to where I was reasonably happy with it. It was hard though. But I really love how her skates turned out. I think they're pretty. And they're very sparkly, as you can tell, I'm hoping. Her dress, I hadn't planned on quite doing it like this, but I thought in the end it worked out really, really well. So, and I like that I went in with some sparkle pens after this, and put in some sparkle with it. It was actually really easy. The first stuff is basically just Posca with a medium tip to find a medium. And I just did the Posca, and I kind of tweaked it a little bit with a brush before it's had a chance to set up. And then I went in with the little glitter pens. And her dress, this part of her dress was fun. It's almost all watercolor. Like, there's a little bit of colored pencil to A, tone down the glitter some, and B, to add a little bit more depth. But this is from it got good jewel. I think that's a rough, but it means Merry Christmas in Swedish. So, I think good jewel. I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's Hanna Karlzon, and her new book is God Jewel, and I'm probably butchering it, but that's okay. It's only available through a company called iMusic DK, which I think stands for Denmark. I'm so terrible with that stuff. But she lives in Sweden. But that's the company you can get it through. It's a little expensive, you know, between the shipping and the book, but it's absolutely worth it. And you can see that I did not actually color in the book itself. It's in Swedish, parts of it, and there's no way I'm going to ever actually color in the book itself. Now, once I get the next year when they come out with the English version, I'll almost like a color that one. But the one that's in Swedish, and it's a lot like the Klara Markova books. I have never actually colored in any of them, and I have all but the new one that's coming out, but I have it pre-ordered, and the first two. I cannot find the first two anywhere. I would take one that even had a page or two colored. We'll make copies of books like that and like this one, and that way can also change up the paper color too, to suit whatever it is I'm doing. So that's just something I recommend, because especially Klara Markova's books are not they will eventually go out of print. So that's just something to think about. If you have a printer that is robust enough to do things like this with, I would highly recommend it. I take a picture of it, and then I pull up my Epson app, and I send it to my printer, and I can, you know, choose my paper and all this other jazz. And that way, also, if I mess up, I'm not crying because I messed up a, you know, $70, $50 book. So that's just my advice for that. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed that. I wish you all a wonderful weekend, because today's Friday here. So I wish you all a very happy weekend, and stay safe, and happy holidays, guys. It's not too early. Bye.